Here in the sixth chapter of this series of Python programming, we will be looking at functions. And functions, that's basically a little piece of program that can perform a task, a certain task for you. And it can be called from somewhere else, and then it will do its task. We will also be looking at parameters. Parameters is a piece of information that you pass on to a function and that the function will use. And then we will also look at return statements. That's information coming out of a function. So these are the three topics we will cover in this video. Hey and welcome here. I'm Torkild Brunsnes, and this is Python Learning by Doing. I strongly believe that learning by doing, that's the way that works the best. It is for me, I can tell you. So try to follow this, these chapters here, and do what I'm showing on the screen. Follow it on your own computer. And when you have gone through all the different chapters, I promise you, you will be an excellent programmer. Well, let's grab a cup of coffee. And then let's just get going. So let's pretend that we want to make a little piece of program, a function that can be called. And what we want that function to do is to say congratulations with your birthday and then the name of the person. That's what we want it to do. And the way we make a function is we write def. That's what defines a function here. And we will call the function congrats. So it's a congrats function. And then parentheses, that's our function. And after the first line here, you can see now that we have an indentation. And that's very important because everything that we now write within that indentation here is part of the function. As soon as we go back out again, that ends this function. So the function is defined by whatever is it within this indentation now. And we want it to say print, and then we say print, and then we can say happy birthday. So that's what we wanted to say. And that has to be in, because it's a piece of text, so we need citation marks here. So we wanted to say happy birthday. Now we say our function is over here. And let's just make a line spacing. So we know that this is over. So we say, the way we call that function now is we say congrats. And that's how we call it. So that's kind of the basics of defining a function. The next we want to do is to give this function here some parameters. And the parameters is what we put in here. So we can say its name. Congrats, and then name. And then we want it up here to say plus name. That it has to print happy birthday plus a name. And then we want a spacing here. Else it will write it right after here. And now we can say, let's go in here and write a name. And we can just say Peter. So now we have given it a parameter. Oh, and it should be congrats, not contracts. So let's correct that. And then let's try to run it. And it should say happy birthday Peter. Or we can change that to Anna. And it should say happy birthday Anna. And now, just for the fun of it, we can try to expand this here a bit and say we want name and we also want age as a parameter. And then we can say happy birthday, and then we could put a, and we say Anna here. And then we say plus, and then we can say citation mark, and in there we can say, and we can say with the and then we can say here plus, and then we can say age, and a plus again, and then we want to say years here at the end. So here it should say happy birthday, and then the name with the and then how many years, and then down here we want congrats, and we want Anna, and we can say 35. So that needs to be, it's string variables we're working with here. Even though it's a number, it's still a text string we're working with here. So let's try to run that now. Happy birthday Anna with the 35 years. And of course we can change that to if she's 5 years old and run it. Then it's happy birthday Anna with the 5 years. Or it can be Chris. Happy birthday Chris with the 5 years. So you see what a function does. When we have a program file like this, we can have a function that we write here in the top. We write in the top of the file. And as we move down in the program, we can call that function, the congrats function. And what the program will do is it will jump up to the top where the function is defined, and it will run what's within the indentations here. And when it has done that, it will return back to where it was and continue from there. So it kind of jumps up and does that little loop and then comes back again. That's what a function does. If we want some information back from the function here, then we can here within the function, we can put a return statement. So we need to still use the indentation we are within the function. We can say return. And let's say we wanted to calculate how many years the person, in this case Chris, has left before retirement at 75 years. So we say, or 72 years, let's say that. So we say 72, return 72 minus, and here we want the age. But be careful here, because the age is a text variable right now. So we want the integer, the figure value of it. So we have to do int and age. We want the integer value of age. So return that. And if we run that now, then it looks like this. Happy birthday, Chris, with the 5 years. And then it just says 67. See, now the situation is that when you have put a return statement in a function, that ends the function. You cannot have anything written after here. I can't go down here and then say something else. That doesn't work. A return statement is always the last thing in a function. So after that, I can't write anything. But I can write something before. So let's try to do that. And then we can say print, and we want it to say and we put a text string in. We can say you have, and a space, and then it will say, look here, it says you have 67 years, and if we want to say left before retirement, I can't put it after the return here. It has to come down here, and then I can say print left, or we can say years left before retirement. And let's try to run this. Now it gives us this here. Happy birthday, Chris, with the 5 years. You have 67 years left before retirement. I shouldn't have a spacing there. And it looks better. So that's basically how you can use a return statement, but be aware that it always ends your function. That concludes this chapter of Python Learning by Doing. Make sure that you follow all the following chapters and go through the entire series. Also make sure to hit both the like and the subscribe buttons, because that would help me to keep creating programs like this. So thank you for doing that. And here after this there will be a link on the screen, and that will be to the next episode in this series of 26 videos. So take another cup of coffee and get ready for the next episode.